Hello everyone, it's Brigitte Limbanda from Cape Town in South Africa. I am basically running an internet speed test to make sure that it works because I've been having issues with my connection. But I thought while I am doing this, let's just make the stream count anyway. So how are you coping with the coronavirus? Have you been affected by it? What are your game plans? Are you panicking? Should you be panicking? How are you planning to, or how are you protecting yourself and your family, or how do you plan to protect yourself and your family? But I think more importantly, for anyone in business, um, what is your strategy? Do you have a strategy? Are you going to wait for the coronavirus to hit your area to affect your employees? What if you have a domestic worker who's been exposed to the virus and they suddenly overnight can't come to work for weeks on end because they're in quarantine or whatever reason? How will you cope with that situation? How is your company going to handle that situation? Are we prepared? Um, do you have contingency plans? I think one of the things that as parents you need to consider very strongly is what if one of you as a parent and you have to then self quarantine? Because I think that is the first line of defense in South Africa, for example, is self quarantining. What if you have to self quarantine? How do you handle that? How do you not expose the rest of your family if one person in the family has to self quarantine? What is your process? Have you given that thought? How will you deal with it? How will you, um, what are you telling your children? How will you avoid um, hysteria? How will you avoid panic if the children realize they can't get in contact with their mom or their dad for an extended period of time, even though they're in the house? How will you explain that to them? What is the process going to be with your work situation? What is the contingency plan? Are you going to fire your domestic worker because they can't come to work because they've possibly been in touch with somebody who has got the coronavirus? What are your rights as a person? How are we going to deal with all these challenges? Do we wait until it happens or do we prepare ourselves for that? We definitely need to investigate this. And I think my big takeaway here is to say do not panic, do not create panic around you. Get informed, be informed. Do not spread misinformation. I think that's one of the things that scares me the most is the misinformation that is out there about the coronavirus. And that's possibly what is creating a lot of the angst is because people don't know how to protect themselves and their loved ones. One of the things I think I cannot stress enough is do not go and stockpile masks. Leave the masks for the medical personnel. They are going to need that. So consider how you would react if you're in the hospital and you can't get treated because the nursing staff doesn't have access to masks. So please give that some thought. And again, one of the misconceptions out there is that you know, having a mask is going to prevent you from getting the coronavirus. That is absolutely not true. But what it does protect you from is the coronavirus is spread through droplets. It's not an airborne disease. And so we do seem to have a a need or an unconscious need to touch our faces more times than we should be doing. We shouldn't be touching our mouths, our noses, rubbing our eyes, because if we have touched the surface, then we can get that coronavirus by touching our mouths, touching our noses, touching our eyes, because it's transferred through fluids and droplets in the air. So yes, it will help you if you're wearing a mask. You can make your own mask to prevent yourself from rubbing your eyes, from touching your nose, from touching your mouth. But do not stockpile medical masks. Leave them for the people who really need them most. So what are your plans? Leave us a note in the comments. Tell us what you're doing. What is your company's plan for online meetings, for example? Because in-person meetings may, start to be discouraged. A lot of companies already banned travel for their employees. Um, how are you coping with that? How you're managing your planning? How are you continuing? How do you continue with staff training? Live streaming is one of the great ways in which we can contribute to help companies continue run their business. So what is your game plan? Do let us know in the comments. Again, the main reason why I started the stream is to test my internet connection because I've been having issues for the last couple of days since Wednesday last week. And I'm going to end the stream now because I think I've run the test sufficiently. So if you are watching this, thanks for watching. I'm Brigetti Limbanda from Cape Town in South Africa. Do let us know in the comments, are you affected by the coronavirus? What are you doing? What is your company's plans? Do you have a policy? Let us know in the comments what's happening in your part of the world. Thanks again, and it's Brigetti Limbanda saying goodbye for now.